As the Overwatch League enters the final week of Stage 1, it's time to get you set up for the stage playoffs. First, here's how it all works. The Overwatch regular season is broken into 4 5-week stages. At the conclusion of each individual stage, there is a stage playoff, pitting the top 3 teams in the standings against each other. For teams with the same record, the tiebreakers are cumulative map differential, followed by head-to-head map differential, then head-to-head record. Following match play on the last Saturday of each stage, the second and third place finishers will face off for a chance to face the #1 team later that night for the crown of Stage 1 champion. So what's at stake other than the bragging rights? Try $100,000 to the winning team and $25,000 to the runner-up. It's going to be an exciting finish to the first stage of the Overwatch League.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the desk. I'm Golden Boy, your host. And, I do agree with Malik there. When he explained it, it was a lot easier. When Puckett explained it, I don't know, I was just lost. I'm just not a very bright man. But, who is bright? Zoe, down over there, joining me. That's right. We could do like an ET thing where I just reach.
We could, but
it's too far. It's too. I'm not lanky like Brent. Where you
my arms stretch all around
the world. You just hug the world.
I love the world.
So as you can see, Sideshow and Brent are still with me here.
Hooray!
That was such disdain.
And, I love you guys.
Okay.
Clearly, it's great. All right. Let's go ahead and move on, though. I'm just moving on from that because I'm not even going to give him the time of day. Okay, let's take a look at the schedule and where we are right now because we have a very hyped-up match coming up next, but we want to get you up to speed on what just took place. So the Philly Fusion and the Boston Uprising had a little bit of a Super Bowl rematch where the Uprising, they were able to take that victory there against the Fusion, thus getting revenge for the Crafts and Tom Brady. Meanwhile, on the other side, we had Florida Mayhem versus New York Excelsior, and it was a very exciting game. Florida Mayhem showed us what they were made of, took it to the NYXL, but the NYXL will come out on top 3-0, thus locking their spot in the playoffs. But now it's going to come down to London Spitfire and the Houston Outlaws. And let's just go ahead and bring out your first team. Put your hands together for the London Spitfire. London Spitfire, one of the best teams coming off of a perfect week where they went 8-0 against Shanghai and Seoul of all teams, guys.
In general, I was pretty impressed with London. Not just because I'm a London boy, that's a lie. I'm not actually from London, but for this set, I'm going to pretend I'm from London. Near enough. I'm only 2 hours away. And I love this team so much. They have so much potential. As Crumbs put it, they're a team that's been cooking in the oven like a turkey. You keep checking in on them every now and then. They haven't been quite so ready, but now I firmly believe they are ready for the Christmas meal.
Okay, so there were actually some conflicts going on with the London team, if I'm correct.
Well, I wouldn't say conflicts. It was more of a, they wanted to have enough stuff in their practice room to actually all practice at the same time, so they requested more gear, more desks, more everything. They now have it, so they can successfully scrim against each other and also have both teams preparing for the matches for the week at the same time. And if we're looking at that roster with 2 massive, skilled lineups, they now can mix and match and prepare for both matches in the week without anyone sitting out.
It's kind of scary that they could literally mix and match and just succeed. Bananas. But you know what is bananas as well? It's right, the Houston Outlaws. I don't know what that transition meant, but let's go ahead and bring out the Houston Outlaws. Terrible transitions aside, I have to say this team has been very surprising all season long.
Yes, and last week they were playing without Linkster as well, who has been one of their star players previously, but he's back.
Yeah, he's actually been ill. He's not been feeling well. Rocco's last week also felt under the weather. However, both of them fully recovered and are practicing with the team again. And as you said, despite the lack of him, they came awfully close to win their match against the Seoul Dynasty, together with Clockwork, who performed really well, considering that he had to step in last minutes on both their play days. And he's playing on Heroes maps he did not really practice because it's Lynx's responsibility.
I love Linkster so much. He's such a star, such a jewel in my life when he absolutely dominates on Widowmaker.
Okay, calm down there.
No, for real though, like the guy, I'm so glad that he's playing back in this game now, because not to say that Clockwork did a bad job, because actually Clockwork played pretty damn well for someone who was put in last minute, but now Linkster's back in, and this is where, honestly, if you're London, you're in the danger zone, because when Linkster's on fire, when he's, when he's on the gear, boys, whatever you want to say, when he's really doing his job correctly, that's when the magic happens.
Yes, but it has been Jake powering this team forwards. He's been the guy at the focal point of the entirety of the Houston Outlaws. As Linkser is your X Factor, Jake is consistency incarnate when he is put on that Junkrat. And the way that they play, peeling people off each other with that solid tank line, that is the style of Houston.
This team has a lot of weapons, but London, I mean, let's be honest here, same thing there. If anything, they can, like I said, they can mix and match, do whatever they want, and it's successful. It's just disgusting. But, you know, speaking of playstyles, though, so you actually did catch up with Flame from Houston Outlaws.
I did. We talked a little bit about how the playstyles of both of those teams are matching up, and he told me that he actually thinks they're incredible similar. And if we're looking at those individual players, I would agree. They both have star DPS players. Their tanks are both very strong. I mean, Houston was a team which was built around their tanks, Coolmet and Muma. So I think it's going to be a very down-to-the-wire match. I do agree with what Flame said. I do expect this to be close and good.
Yeah, I think every person at home, everyone here at the Blizzard Arena, they've been looking forward to this game because of just the potential of these two teams. But now we got to get to the keys to victory. And Sideshow, your thoughts on London's keys to victory as we prep for this game?
Yes, so London, I feel like looking at what they need to do in this match to be able to take it. The first one is that because they are so intelligent with the way that they use their ultimates, I want to see better ultimate economy, better use of ultimates coming out from London. I think that's one of their biggest strengths going into this game. The next thing they need to do is shut down the enemy DPS. They can play much more aggressive than Houston. They have more depth to their roster, which is, of course, the third point. But they can use that depth to shut down the enemy DPS, step up the tempo, get in Jake's face, make sure he doesn't survive.
Yeah, you want to just really frustrate the DPS as much as possible. And again, I'm just going to keep hammering it home, because if something's not working, we'll just go ahead and make a substitution, because we have all these other talented players. Now, for Houston, though, knowing that you have this deep pool of players, the depth chart for this team is incredible. Now, Houston, they need to figure out how to get this win. Brent, how do they do that?
Well, we've got some keys for victory for Houston as well to dive into, and the number one is protect the rat. And by the rat, we don't mean rats in general, I mean Junkrat, and that's Jake playing that role. That's just to clarify, just in case you didn't know. And that's going to be a key really here, because Jake on the Junkrat is also sort of the antithesis for London's play style. Very much anti-dive. When they're trying to dive on him, when he's on that Junkrat, it's going to be forcing them off. Secondly, big day from Linkser. I want to see this guy perform. I want to see him pop off. And if he does just that, I think London are going to be in a bit of trouble. But finally, Pace versus Orisa and Hog. Now, Sideshow, you actually wrote this point, so I'm not too sure what you were trying to word around with that one. However, I'm going to assume that you meant that they need to really sort of pace behind the Orisa Hog and play a tempo game against London.
Yes, because of course Coolmat doesn't play the Hog. So comparing the two tank duos, they're awesome, really. They're two of the best tank duos we've got in the whole league. But Coolmat crucially doesn't play the Roadhog. He only really plays the Diva, so they've only got that kind of style to go for, and they have to up the pace if they want to take on the Orisa Hog or Hog Diva composition.
It's very clear Bren just doesn't do things. and honestly, if you make it past this broadcast, I'd be shocked. You know, shocked. I'm kidding. Okay, so let's get some predictions in here, guys. Zoe, I'm going to start with you. You're on the hot seat. Who's going to take this?
I really sincerely dislike you right now, putting me on the spot.
Go!
But, okay, so my heart says Houston Outlaws. I really want them to win. But...
But, it's a big but.
But my prediction is still going to be London Spitfire. I just think they have so much more depth in terms of strategies and hero pools. I think they have the edge.
Brent, I'm skipping you. Sideshow, your thoughts. You're going to be last.
Yeah, I've got to agree with Zoe. I think the depth of this roster, the way that the two styles match up against each other is excellent. Houston look like one of the best players best teams, that are currently outside the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite sure they can do it today on this map pool.
The reason why is I saved the best for last, baby.
Hell
What you got, Brent?
Houston Outlaws all the way.
Oh, Panderer.
Or hashtag Green Wall. I can hear the crowd behind me. They're loving it, and so am I. I'm expecting Jake, Linkser, Muma, Coolmat, the whole gang to pop off. And I want to see them with a win today.
Are you sure that when we go into the half, you're not going to change your prediction again, Brent?
Absolutely not. I've never done that, actually. I don't know
You've
where
never
you're
done
referring
that.
to. You're not...
Interesting. This guy, you just can't trust Brent. You know, the Brengies. Never trust a Genji main is the lesson I've learned here today.
Why not?
Because of you. All right, guys. Well, it's time to get ready for the game. Let's make some noise. Let's get hyped up. It's time for your match of the night. It's going to be the London Spitfire facing off against the Houston Outlaws. And let's send it over to your commentary duo of Semler and Hex.
Thank you, Golden Boy. And yes, in fact, this is going to be the match of the day, Hex. But not only that, Golden Boy knows where his bread is buttered. He's taking care of his Brenji. Kept us all hanging in a little bit there, but you know, the wall jump, Brenji just came right over.
I'm going to kind of forgive Brenji here because he said, I can't carry the casters, don't want to play with them. They're always dying on me. I know he's not talking about us because I played with him and we climb ladder very hard. I know exactly who he's talking about.
I mean, there's a reason why we call you the fireman, Hex. You just don't stop ladder
Yes.
after ladder. I mean, it's an unbeatable combination with the Brenji. He just gets everything done. So, going into this match, Hex, I mean, there is a lot on the line here.
There's a lot on the line for Houston. They absolutely have to win to stay in this one. London would like to win because they obviously don't want to play 2 matches. They've made that perfectly clear. They don't want to play extra games on Saturday. So is Houston's will to survive going to be able to match London's, well, antipathy towards playing more matches?
Listen, they've got a man on this London Spitfire team. You know what he's all about? Return on investment. The man profit. And he is always out for the money. And he's definitely going to be getting it done here because there's 100 grand for first place. And you know that that man is expecting his name to be written on that check with the signature.
Well, cash money's worth a lot more than stock at this point in time. It's been a rough day for everybody involved in that one. So he's going to try to get his dividends the old-fashioned way in American good old currency, the Benjamins.
I will say, do we get Junkertown again? I mean, we could just go sailing all day long
I
towards
hope
that
so.
booty again. The focus on the booty, glinting gold. It is going to be, however, Eichenwald to start things off. I'm not going to pronounce it the way Zoe does. Leave that to her. It is going to be Eichenwald kicking things off here. And no surprise, I suppose, to see Jake already, you know, just chucking rockets around left and right.
Yeah, might as well. This is a map pool, as I mentioned earlier when looking at map pools. Houston has a little bit of an advantage here that for whatever reason, some of the North American teams are just a little bit better at Eichenwald. I think they're 100%. Now, as we go throughout the rest of the map pool, London and Houston kind of draw a little closer even on that one. Oasis being the outlier as Houston has a little bit better of a win record there. So the map pool would favor Houston going forward, but this one should be tight. Everything to play for London and Houston. Houston, it is do or die time.
Backs to the wall. And well, right now, I'm kind of curious because we do have a change in strategy, something we haven't seen yet today, at least you and I. We did see the Widow get picked earlier on the offensive team to try and pick off any Pharahs that might go peeking over the eaves there, over the rooftops, but Birdring, he's going to be locked in, and this is one of the heavy DPS players here for London Spitfire, and so a little bit of variety coming through here for the offense.
Well, already going to take a peek and decide that Tracer is going to be the better pick, which makes a whole lot of sense.
So it's a repeat from last time.
Yeah, true. Well, last time they had supports on that peeking out first, but this makes a little more sense anyway. You want your best Widow on it. Already the dive coming in, and it is going to be a game of world of tanks for both of these teams. 2 teams with great tank duos.
We're all going to get healed right back up again, which is going to make life pretty nice here for Closer, who's going to be able to get up to that ult as quickly as possible. Banny mirroring him pretty much as well. And so on that Mercy, it is going to be the Mercy duel. Still the old patch, just keep that in mind. So long as we're in stage 1, Mercy still gets 2 reses, and well, Junkrat still does a lot of damage. Jake definitely going to be happy about that.
Yeah, the Jake Rat, as he's been called, living that lifestyle. Gesture gets in the backline. Banny out of this fight already, Semler.
This is big, and there, well, this is now just going to be cleanup. Birdring catching Jake out, nearly gets the kill. So close to fighting Linkser and winning that duel. Instead, it's just forcing him back into the house.
Matt wanted to stay there and maybe come in the last second to give his team a chance to hold, but that should be it. An avalanche of white in the kill feed means the Spitfire will take first point with ease.
And they still hold on to both of their support ults as well. So the next fight is going to be pretty fine and dandy here for Spitfire. They get to call the shots and decide when. Raucus is very close, and yeah, just picks over to his trance.
A lot of teams struggle with dislodging Jake in Eichenwald, especially when we get to the second point. He's just sitting up there on the Junkrat, hurling mines down. Just an absolute firestorm up there, so they're going to have their work cut out for him. I think the best way to do it is send the Diva up there with Prophet. And let Prophet do a deflect on the way in or a defense matrix on the way in. The problem with that is that Jake's not just going to be alone up there. He's going to have the help of his friends as well.
He's getting damage boosted as well. I mean, that guy is feeling it right now. He wants to do the hurt. And, well, you are going to have Cool Matt there to watch out, especially, you know, want to mind Jake, make sure he has the room to hit those grenades with and do that tremendous amount of damage. Woo-y'all, just making sure that they can't wrap on him.
Linkser got in there for a little bit, and still now this door hold in full effect. It's not the low ground door hold that some teams prefer, because when you have this vantage point up here, there's no door you can come in clean. You're going to be eating grenade spam all the way through.
And there you go. The grenade to the face. Get out of mine, Jake says. He's still in this. Manages to back off. He's even got the little health pack there to make sure he doesn't get taken out by surprise, but he is feeling just a little bit of pressure here. Will connect with a grenade, though, and that's going to do so much damage.
It's a great dive by London right there. Not necessarily for the immediate kills, but they split that team in half. When Jake's on the other side, that means Bounty is on the really exposed side over there. He was the first to fall yet again. It seems that the tank line of the London Spitfire are really focusing supports, which is generally what you do, but you gotta keep your DPS with those supports if you want to dissuade them.
You want to kind of capitalize on the tank damage. Make sure you've got somebody to close the deal. Birdring with the stick, point blank on Raucus, and again, highlighting it. You know, Birdring getting in there to help out. Manages to get a key kill to start things off. Jake with the tire, not going to get anything out of it. Huyo is going to be able to pick it off before it can get into the back line and do the damage. We will have Benny committing with the wings, though. Valk is out, so he will be on high. Trying to keep his teammates alive. Birdring, though, has something to say about that.
Valk out on both sides of things. Prophet brought back into this mix, looking for targets there. There's a couple later resurrections from the Spitfire, give them a small advantage.
The big thing, exactly, is Prophet. He's got that Dragon Blade. Eye in the Sky is going to spot that. He's going for the hack and slash. Unfortunately for him, the Transcendence canceling out most of that damage, and so Houston Outlaws, they survive. Only issue is the support's cut off again from the main roster.
Yeah, they're getting backed into a corner by Prophet, who takes some nade spam on his way up, and that's going to delay just a little bit. Meanwhile, Jake is back in this mix. He's going to need 1 or 2 more kills. It is essentially a 2v2 on the point here. Reinforcements coming in from both sides on a razor's edge right now.
And there, eventually, Gesture will find that kill. Pounds Raucus into the ground. The res point blank, though. Big play coming in from Banny to get his teammate back into it.
Banny will give it, well, he gave his life.
Yeah, he gave his life to it. I thought he survived for a second there.
You can't survive the Gesture pressure. Now they used everything, though, so that's a decent fight for Houston as they're able to withstand the fury of the London Spitfire, who popped every single ultimate in that fight. The Spitfire are going to come in here, and if they get a couple kills, maybe able to turn it around, but they would like to bait out ultimates instead. Here comes a tire.
Looking for the flank, looking for the easy, squishy target. Somebody can just blow up, and he's going to get lucky. Catches Birdring in the halls. So that'll delay things further here for London Spitfire.
You don't see that area of the map utilized often. The little hole in the wall there. Someone is behind on their castle maintenance, and it cost the Tracer her life.
Well, speaking of which, cool, Matt, you know, you can try and shoot them at range, but you're not really effective at that. Maybe kick a piece of that wall down on them instead. You know, let's go full medieval on these guys.
The boiling oil from up top.
There you go. They are under siege right now, Hex, but they are doing a fantastic job of holding out Houston Outlaws and push London Spitfire back. There's only a minute left on this clock, and Cool Man teams up with his teammate, manages to pick up one and move on the other. London Spitfire now, they do manage to back off on this fight, at least. Birdring doesn't hang around too long, and so he will respond with the rest of his team, but the ults are starting to stack up for the Spitfire.
It's so appropriate that D.Va is the flex tank of choice because she is a tank assassin. 400 HP, burst damage, just gets fed in the backline and gets supports. And the terrible thing is she always gets out alive. Yeah. You can see that smug wave and a little GG.
Hiya. It's like, no, D.Va, no. I am not saying hi to you.
Is this easy mode indeed, D.Va? Oh, that's the first line.
It's the way she says it too. You can just hear the smirk.
Jake's gonna try to get a tire up here. I think he's gonna sit in far back. No need though, self-destruct on the bridge, nowhere to hide. Looks like Houston should be able to deflect this rather easily.
He even manages to save in mind to get out of dodge. He will be able to stay out, and now he can even cut them off if he wants to. 6 seconds left, and it's ticking down. Jake going for the tire just to delay things further. Birdring doing the best that he can to stall it out. Not going to be good enough, though, but they may be able to get back just in time. Yes! Gesture with the Primal Rage pops the ulti just to touch the point. Overtime Wick is burning now, and so London Spitfire, they have to stay alive. It's all or nothing, but the Trance is there to ruin Prophet's day, and Gesture surely not long for this world.
The Jake Rat in full effect took down both supports as they scrambled back, and that is where the payload will stop. Very solid defense. And that bridge is the best place for self-destructs. You give people that terrible choice of, you can jump off the edge if you want. You're dying either way. Which way do you want to go?
They leave you the choice. That's the thing. It's terrible. There you go. We get the replay of it as well.
Did that come up through the bottom again?
It came up through the bottom, it looked like.
Houston really understands
style.
The architecture of this map, though, using that little hole in the wall.
Houston, get it, man. Style first. That's what's up. They're just pulling out all the stops here, and you have to versus London. There's no underestimating these guys. They are all beasts. There's a reason why they're sitting at the top of the pack in the league right now. And so, you know, Outlaws, you're going to you can't save anything. You got to throw it in here. This is a do or die sort of situation for you if you want to make the playoffs.
I think we might see a lot of different stuff out of Outlaws today. An extremely versatile team. Haven't really had to flex their muscle that much lately. They've been just beating on teams, had that amazing map win streak. So that's what puts them in such good position where they really control their own destiny of being able to, if they can beat the next couple teams, they banked up so many maps, so many 4-0s, that they're in a great position for that first tiebreaker of Stage 1 playoffs, which is map differential.
Exactly. The maps that you've played and whether you've won them or not, have the series been clean? That's what makes the difference here before head-to-head even comes into the picture. And so, you're right, Houston, they're sitting pretty right now. But now they have to figure out how the offense is going to work here for themselves as London Spitfire. They're set up on the defense and already birdering on the McCree. We're going to be keeping an eye on him for that hit scan, well, one-shot possibility, DPS, you know, just get those headshots in there.
My ultimate is charging.
We've seen a couple McCree duels so far on Eichenwald. Oftentimes McCree is meant for a Pharah, especially on defense, but both teams going to be running the Cowboy here.
Both of them. And well, okay, there we go. Banny swaps at the last second, just giving his team the boost at the beginning with the Lucio. A little bit of ground, perhaps hoping to catch London Spitfire out of position. Jake already taking some flak though. He's the one who wants to give the flak, however, and so that's gonna just piss him off.
You've activated Jake's anger mode. He is getting low though, and they've already taken this corner, which is huge. Watching the flank on the left-hand side, that's where Hog likes to go. So nice rotation there by the off-tank Matt. Now just poking about right now, waiting for someone to eat an errant rocket and hopefully get some, or errant nade rather, and get some cleanup.
This is what he's all about. He loves these sorts of positions where he just gets to chuck those grenades in. Kind of cross your finger. I mean, there is a portion of skill involved, but eventually they will have to give ground as they are starting to lose some tanks. Linkser, however, dies. Woohyall went fishing. He caught a big one.
We talk so often about Gesture, and rightfully so, but Woohyall had a great game last week as well. The tanks worked so well together. I believe I gave both of them my player of the day because you just cannot separate the two. Very underrated tank in an already stacked roster.
Stacked roster, stacked league. You gotta be good if you're gonna stand out here. These are the best in the world after all, Hex. And so, a little bit of a masterclass as Jake just goes to work. There's the first kill. Gesture, one of the tanks is out. He heard you, Hex. He knows. Wait a second, they're not talking about me right now. I gotta do something big.
Tyre from the backside, going to be trying to work his way around, confuse them where it's coming from. He wants to find supports. The hunting lodge is empty, though.
Cue the Benny Hill music. I mean, he found nothing, and he went everywhere with that one. Great positional play there from London Spitfire. They didn't get anything out of their Riptire either, though. As I say that, Prophet will take down the Supercharger. Muma no longer boosting his teammates on the damage. Jake will find a kill on Closer, though, and that may be the difference maker here, where they can finally tip it their way, Houston.
Closer out, that healing potential is way lower. It's a Zen duel, and Hago gets the better part of that one.
But then you get the drive-by from Cool Matt, just going right on through. That is it. Houston Outlaws, they managed to collect the first point. A little bit of progress made. The Ram, it's got to warm up a little bit. Just let the engine turn over. And then work its way through this arch. And let's see if London Spitfire can get back here in position in time if they choose to hold aggressively or if they're going to kind of hold the high ground, similar to what we saw Houston going for.
Birdring has the Deadeye. He can try to get the highest of noons here from up top. Jake's already taken down Prophet. This is a brutal composition to try to run a Tracer into, because if you're able to somehow avoid flashbang, I don't know how you do it, I personally never avoided a flashbang in my life, then you're still dealing with the Junkrat.
Whoa, Jake getting ahead of himself, but he still gets the kill on Closer somehow. From the grave, reaches out and just hopes to ruin it for London Spitfire here. They're sputtering, and well, another flash gets dodged. Linkser not quite quick enough that time, but he is going to be able to start moving onto the high ground himself. And this is where things can get dicey for London Spitfire.
I wonder if Prophet has another couple rough lives if he doesn't consider a switch to the Genji. It helps you take away high ground, you can pressure a Junkrat. That is a rough life indeed. And Prophet down again, all the space in the world, and the DPS or the Houston Outlaws are rolling over the London Spitfire.
This was one of the win conditions that was put forth. The Brenji never lies. Keep an eye on Linkser, this man is going to town. Woohyall gets ejected off the point, and that's not gonna be good enough, Jake. With the final kill, Houston Outlaws just running over the Spitfire on the first map of this series.
They remain undefeated on Eichenwald. They've got some map advantages going forward, and that's the best opening you could hope for Houston.
What a start. That is it. The hype is on. London Spitfire have been put on notice. They were already aware that Houston Outlaws could definitely be a threat, but with the likes of Jakes and Lynx are just going to work right now. We're getting a bit of the replay. Of course, Berggren going to have his moment, but it's going to be a bit of Jake in here, I think. He was just getting kill after kill.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. How strong is this Houston lineup coming in?
They have all the pieces they need that could be up at the top of the Overwatch League.
We just don't let people execute the game plan that they want to execute. We get in their face, and we disrupt.
They started out 0-2, but this is a fan favorite.
I don't know, Jake! Huge tire from him.
Houston, we have a victory over Dallas.
The most shocking result we have seen so far.
We didn't treat any team with disrespect, trying to put our subs in. We were like, no, we're going 100% every single game. And that's how you get a win streak.
Houston Outlaws are in a league above.
Jake just pressuring forward. That's it. Just a dominant victory here from the Houston Outlaws.
Shanghai, Mayhem, Dallas Fuel, Gladiators, and Shock.
4 4-0s in a row for the Houston Outlaws. That's an incredible record.
We trust each other. If a call is made, we follow it. That fearless team spirit means that on game day, we're twice as strong.
This is just supreme confidence in Jake's abilities. He's going to go for it.
There was one fight we were like down 3 on Anubis, and Rockets was asking like, should I trance, should I trance?
This Riptire could make a big difference.
And I was like, yeah, we can do this. I got the Genji fight.
Gets Baby Bay, who's reinforcing, and the Houston Outlaws survive.
The biggest thing about playing Seoul down a man and, you know, putting them to a game 5, I think they emptied their strat book on us. They showed us everything.
Seoul Dynasty will win it, but man, Houston brought it down to the wire.
And we showed them nothing. Like, you know, they know nothing about what we're going to run.
Every step of the way, Houston certainly making those guys sweat.
I think next time, with more preparation, I think it's not going to be close.
I guarantee we're going to win next time.
Right now, Houston, they're feeling great.
And we may see them in the Stage 1 playoffs.
We're never going to give up until we actually win, and we're going to try to win every season. That's literally the only goal.
Houston's squad just seems to be getting hotter and hotter as this tournament goes on.
Teamwork is how you win an Overwatch, and that's the kind of heat we're trying to bring every single game, every single series.
And he's exactly right. Communication, teamwork, trust in your teammates. They hit it all right there. All the points were made by Houston Outlaws as to perhaps why they've improved so meteorically over the beginning of this first stage.
I like that they're still holding stuff back. They're waiting for it. They know that they're on the precipice here. You don't believe it? You don't buy it?
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, well, yeah, we were totally sandbagging them, and then they get rocked. You know?
Yeah, you should
Like,
you should see us undefeated in scrims. But I think that might be true here, because I think they didn't necessarily think they were going to beat Seoul without their ace and Linkser. And then the 16-match win streak before that, if you're already rolling on people, you're not going to bust out your best strats at the end. So don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes or until your playoff chances are really necessary.
Fair enough, fair enough. And that's exactly what's on the line here, Hex. And you're right, it could all come full circle as London are the ones who are down 0-1 in this series, rather. So far, Eichenwald, you can see it's got the horns. Now, Anubis. That is going to be the assault map. And so very close map again for both of these rosters.
Yeah, I think they both have the same winning percentage here. When we get to Oasis, that's when Houston has, again, a small advantage. But it'd be nice to steal this one and have that be set point for Houston. And there's still a lot on the line for London, too. I don't think it's really guaranteed. They haven't locked in their spot yet. So they have to beat, I think, one of their next 2 opponents to really, truly lock it in. And their next opponent after this is New York. So no small task ahead.
Yeah, New York currently sitting at the top of the pack right now, first rank in the league, but London are in second with a 7-1 record. So obviously they want to tie it up with New York, get up to that 8-1. But it really is so competitive at the top of this league right now. It really does feel like out of the top 5, 6, it could go either way right now.
New York will be there in the playoffs at 8-1 unless something so crazy happens. No, they're locked in because no one's going to beat their match score. Now it's just everyone else vying for 2nd and 3rd place so far. Well, I mean, London still has a chance, though, because other than if they beat New York tomorrow, I don't know why I ever try to do math. There's just way too much going on. Everything changes.
This is how it always goes down in these kind of round-robin formats where it's like, oh, you know, map score, etc. Then it's just like, okay, hold on. Let me break out my my calculator real quick and the abacus and the notepad, and you just need to really sit down and put your brain to it, unfortunately. And so now, well, it does mean that there is an element of risk here involved for these teams. It's not as clear-cut as, you know, we won head-to-head, and so get stuffed. We'll see how it goes here. Second map coming out between Houston Outlaws and London Spitfire. It is very clear, however, one thing that we can count on, Houston need to win this series to have a shot at those playoffs.
That's one thing that we do know, and I'm just going to stick with that story instead. So a little variation of the high horse strategy here. This is kind of a low horse, I suppose. They're just going to sit down there. Linkser's not going to expose himself on the high ground until perhaps he sees that there is not a Widow on the other team. Then he might back up. There he is. Now he's on high there, knowing there's really no threat. The dive tanks are going to try to get to him. Bird Ring caught out already, and really they're just going to wait. London needs to get around to the left-hand side, get the flanks, and that's the angle you really want to approach Linkser from.
You're going to just wait for Bird Ring to res back up. Luckily, it is the Tracer. With Blink, she'll be able to get back into that fight lickety-split. And that sets it up now for Linkser. Not really going to take the easy shot, instead looking for those soft, squishy targets, but they're doing a good job of cutting off his line of sight. And now he has to worry a little bit about that high ground flank on the left. You can see Linkser starting to think about it. Spots out Bird Ring and has to worry about the reflect as well, backing off. And so far, London Spitfire have done a pretty good job, especially with a kill on Vanny and then Raucus to start it off.
Prophet was just chasing there. Some beautiful squad-like play from the London Spitfire as they set 2 up that drew the targets of the tanks on the Houston Outlaws, and then the London tanks went up to deal with the Linkser problem in the back. And once that happens, Linkser's healing is going to try to come in, and Prophet was there to completely shut it down. A beautiful adjustment We've been seeing so many teams end up so far in the back line, trying to go for the very rear flank on this, and just get stuck back there. London decided to go for both flanks. Was able to ride it through on first point, and a great first attack against that static defense.
That was one of the cleanest we've seen yet. Fastest as well. They have a whole mountain of time left in the bank here to work with London Spitfire. Prophet gonna get tickled a little bit there by the Winston. Sadly, that is just Genji's lot in life. That is why you love Winston versus Genji.
I think he's half metal. It's got to hurt more than a tickle. Right now, though, Jake takes down Gesture. That is a huge loss. Birdring will take down Ani, but I don't think it's going to be enough. When you get 2 kills on the defense, that almost solidifies it on these assault maps.
Whoa, Muma. Definitely not expecting that to get caught. Was thinking that was a little bit of a throwaway self-destruct there, but Fury, you know, gets a little bit of joy out of it in the end. Oh, Nate's sailing into Prophet's face, but he just manages to get out. You can see them just coming, following him, chasing him out of there.
They'll return to sender, but not quite enough. But the Spitfire are banking ultimates here. They did use a self-destruct, ended up taking down Muma, but they've got nearly everything else that they would want in this situation. I don't even count Pulse Bomb as an ultimate ability. It's up so often, so Birdring will get there when they need it.
It's all going to be a question of who he decides to stick it on, and there we go, Prophet. The man, he's a bloodhound. He's just hunting. Trying to figure out where the back line is set up. He will get chased out by Cool Matt, but the kills coming through here for Houston Outlaws. Jake, you know, getting that trap in play. Banny with the res back onto Jake. Things are evening out, but we do have Banny with the wings.
It's over. It's over right now. They're going to pull out, but they're absolutely thrilled with that fight because those wings came out. And the moment they saw that, they retreated. That was an econ rush. That's all they wanted to do was get a major ultimate out of the Houston Outlaws. They did just that. Now 2 support ultimates to 1. When these teams are so closely matched, that could be the difference.
Especially with how quickly Birdring can channel up his old channel. It's like he's a monk meditating for a moment, and then eventually he was like, yes, I have found the pulse. No, not quite. You can see Linkster, he's got his, and he's just hoping that he finds the angle, just spotting right on the edge. You can tell, there it is. There's a juicy target.
He's scouting. They're going to preemptively Valk and go in right up the gut here because they know that Linkster is hiding on that side looking for the pulse bomb. So far, though, the Blade had come out and not really getting anything at all. Birdring goes down again. He has had a rough map on Tracer. Rough game set so far, actually.
Now, Closer's there to get him back into the fight. Now we finally lose Bandy here for the Houston Outlaws. Jake, though, with the tire, going to chase them through, and he can do the burst damage even through the trance. No keeping him alive in this fight, and Houston Outlaws repel the offense yet again. London Spitfire, they committed a whole lot to that fight, Hex, and now if you look at it, Banny, 70% on his next Valk.
They committed absolutely everything, should have had the advantage. They did not. Houston's been able to hang even when they're at an economic disadvantage. Right now, in this map and the prior one, Jake has completely destroyed the Tracer play from the London Spitfire, which should be a strength of this team. But he has been all over the place. These traps are unexpected, and it's like when you come around a corner, you're like, who puts their trap there? Who left this trap here? And he's getting Tracers out of nowhere.
Yeah, incredibly frustrating. And Jake just ejects himself out of there, out of harm's way, back to the healers. He's going to get topped up, and you can see he just gets to sit back here in the back line. This is exactly where Jake wants to be, although getting shot in the back by Birdring, that's not exactly part of it. The pulse bomb, in fact, there to get the kill to guarantee it on Jake. But for a while there, I'm pretty sure Jake was feeling pretty good about himself, where he can sit behind his tanks and just chuck grenades into London Spitfire.
Finally some revenge, but it does not matter. Houston cleans up this fight entirely, and now we have another switcheroo here. As Bounty popped their wings, Closer did not, so it seems like we'll be going back and forth forever. They should actually try to push this right now, if they can. It should be a small advantage. They just took out 2, but I don't know if they're in position to just yet. Closer has his wings ready.
And they're deciding to go in for the fight here. He did manage to get that kill on Cool Matt. He will only just be getting into the fight now. Prophet with the Rip Tire has it so quick. Hunting, usual spot where the supports try to hide. Instead, he's going to have to go elsewhere, and he's going to get nothing out of it. Unfortunately for him, there is no joy, and a missed self-destruct there by Cool Matt, but Jake keeping him in the fight. Finds the kill on the enemy Mercy.
Mercy out of it, no resurrections in there. Completely wasted ultimate push there yet again. London cannot seem to put it together. And maybe stop doing the definition of insanity, stop trying the exact same thing right at the middle every time. Teams would like to go right side nowadays. The supports are generally sitting back there, but what most teams have adapted to is that's why Tracer's up there. You see a lot of the time that Tracer's hanging out top left side, and it's not to go for these giant cool plays. I mean, it helps sometimes, of course, but
Listen, it really is.
Yeah, it's to keep eyes on the team. It's to scout out where they're coming from. It's to deny that entry there. And now Birdring is going to try to bait it out. He does bait out the pulse bomb from Linkser, but they can't necessarily go that way. Now they're going to try to get to right corner again.
Yeah, you can see Birdring once again, and he's just hoping. Dancing around, just takes a quick peek. Are they here? Are they here? It's like, you know, Christmas morning waiting for Santa to deliver the presents. Except the presents, it's a sack of coal. Nothing's there.
Still, they lose people on the way in. It has yet to be the case that London starts these attacks with 2 kills. It's always started off with green in the kill feed. Always bad if you're the attacking team, because to bring it back from an uneven situation when the defender's advantage of respawn is about 3 feet away from the point, you need a miracle play. London banking up yet again. They will have almost everything they want for this next fight, and only a minute left. This is their last best chance.
The last push. Working on the 6-pack as well, and they aren't too far off. That's a huge kill on Linkser, but then Jake gets the D-Mac on Fury. Jake just raining grenades in. Mine after mine, nade after nade, just doing tremendous damage, and now he gets the Riptire straight into the fight, and he spots out the Mercy. Is he gonna get away? No! Closer's out of it! London Spitfire! Oh, they're gonna struggle. They're sputtering, they're stalling out.
I said it was going to be their last best push, but London knew that they were in trouble right away, never got an opportunity to pop ultimates. 20 seconds is plenty of time for them to get back here. Even if they feel they're in trouble, they can pop Primal Rage, get a double jump, get Gesture on the point. They have both support ults. By all means, this is a fight that London should win, but I'm tired of saying that because London has blown advantage after ult advantage this entire map.
Jake just hears you say that. He's like, hold my beer, fam. I got this. Although Prophet, all right, there we go. Tyre, it's been spotted. No element of surprise here. Can they get the pick quick enough? And somehow that completely fails. This time around, however, Gesture will get rewarded with the juicy target. They are on the point. The shock from London. Just to remind you all, they had what, 6 minutes and a half, 6 minutes 40 to push this final point? And Houston Outlaws withstood. You look so tilted right now, Hex. I need to outline this picture for everybody. He's got like a total Burns excellent on it, except going on him.
It's what I do when I can't believe life just happened like that. Gesture needs to be more aware of that. Yes, going for the kill, like, I get it. The adrenaline's flowing as the monkey. He had Primal Rage up. He could have popped it left to the point, hopefully. I don't know if the channeling time would have taken too long, but maybe he thought someone else was touching the point. He was back there, had plenty of health, had ultimate. You gotta step a monkey foot on the point. That's ridiculous.
Well, I believe they have a sign in the in their practice room.
Reset the sign.
Reset the sign.
In fact, take the sign down, light it on fire, get a new sign, because that's cursed.
Oh, man. It is that close, though. And in the chaos, sometimes things get lost, things get overlooked. You just make assumptions, and, well, sometimes you just get bit. And in London Spitfire's case, that is a costly mistake to make, seeing as how they are on 1 point solo. All right, then.
Really interesting here. This attack Symmetra really works out a lot. I've had plenty of people on ladder tell me that Symmetra is a viable attack hero. This spawn point hold is going to be really good for the offense.
He's just waiting. I mean, Prophet, come at me, bro. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, if the defense pushes all the way to the dropship over there, they're going to be in for a rude awakening.
Listen, eventually League Ops are just going to say, you know what? Yes, Symmetra has been played. She was picked. That counts as getting played. She was picked. She was on the server at some point.
You know, you pick Symmetra, you give her all-time Valkyrie so she can just fly anywhere.
Listen, let's just flip this and just count it. You know, everybody pick in the spawn, have Symmetra, so we get 100% played for Symmetra. There we go. Enough said, done, dusted. Let's get into the action. And, well, Linkser's wasted no time. A very valuable target to kick things off. Hagopin out of the fight. He will get rezzed, but that's important because there's no longer a res in play here. Houston Outlaws have a window.
Birdring in this really interesting position, bottom left, because he knows that the offense wants to find him up top, but he will not be found there. Does slow down his sightlines, though, and now he's getting pushed all the way back. But they did not see Prophet there taking them down. They did lose their own Mercy in this fight, though, which is terrible for the first point.
That's another way to get rid of Mercy. Just kill her. Get rid of Mercy. Get her out of here. Baraka's just chucking orbs in left and right, hoping to find a target. They're all so low, and eventually they should be able to get on here and touch the point. Oh, the shot! And Jake's there to capitalize. Houston Outlaws, yes, exactly. They will eventually get the fight, and they will eventually find where Fury was hiding. Fury not going to be able to challenge it. Chased on back. I mean, you're in a 2,000-ton mech. You're getting chased away by a chick who weighs like 80 pounds wet.
Look,
what's the matter?
Maybe you're not familiar with the ton system, considering that you consider yourself a foreigner, but 2,000 tons might be a little overestimation of the weight of that.
Listen, you're right. It sounded cool though, Hex. Why you gotta rain on my parade? What else is cool is Jake just racking up kill after kill. Mumo working well with him, but Birdring is going to be there. And right now, London Spitfire, they just managed to hold.
Yeah, I was just giving you a knock on the mathematics because I thought this point was over. I was absolutely wrong. Apparently, I don't know how math works either. Now it's finally over.
All right, wait a second here. There we go. The taser's out. The fist to the face, and they will collect the first point, Houston Outlaws. And all they need is one tick on the second one here. Ults though, well, actually they're going to tick up here, the ones that matter at least.
London, I mean, I don't know. Do these check marks even matter for London at this point? They've had the huge advantage where they're going all the time. Did not work out on their offense. Defensively, it should bode well for them. Yet again, Jake has moved over to the Reaper, and he will start by taking out Gesture.
What a monster kill. Wings are going to get pulled here by Bounty. That was enough of an advantage to look for it. He gets the res off on Jake immediately as well. Trance used as well by Rockets. They're throwing everything into this fight, Houston Outlaws. And so far, London Spitfire, they have done the same. Linkser finds the angle, the headshot onto Gesture. Unfortunately for him, that Mercy is still in the fight, so he will get topped up.
That's an interesting angle he's taken here. Oh my goodness! That's not how that should work. That's not how any of this should work.
Oh, well, Birdring is on cleanup duty right now. He's put on his janitor's uniform. Just getting the D-Mech, and they managed to withstand it. That did feel a little dicey there for just a moment.
Doe has always mentioned that Reaper should have a janitor skin, and it should be time to sweep, because he is usually the cleanup crew there, especially on Anubis. And now some more changes come in. They still want to run the Reaper, but they're going to move Linkser over to it, and Jake will take to the skies. I like this when you're going into a last point with a Junkrat. I actually think London should have tried this at least once on their offense as well. He's going to be raining death from above. No one really on the other side able to deal with it or put consistent pressure on.
We got the flank battle going on right now. Jake is on that Pharah, looking for a target, exactly, looking for Birdring. He knows that Birdring's back here. Birdring with the blink, though, going to be too quick, and Prophet will get the follow-up as well on Raucus. That pretty much ends this fight, as Fury eventually finds the kill on him. And so, yes, forced to back off yet again here, Houston Outlaws. One, it's like a parting present, though. At least they get the primal out of Gesture, but there are so many ults.
Now, if there's one thing I could teach future generations or past generations is don't be distracted by time travelers. Learn that one the hard way. Jake needs to be only on Junkrat duty. That's his only job, is to shut down the rat and make sure that he can't get in to do what he just did. Trying to chase around a Tracer, even if you're a very good Pharah, can be an act of futility. Right now, defense set up very well, and London hasn't really had to use ults. They've been banking.
Ooh, ouch. Rocket to the face, that hurts quite a bit. We'll have to give ground. Birdring still on the hunt. Exactly. Does get a little bit of a spot on movement, so just gonna let him know what's going on. Still trying to find that angle. Tyre is in from Prophet, another delaying tactic, although if he can find Banny! That was almost out of nowhere. Banny had no idea.
Banny offers himself up to the Goodyear gods and goes down immediately. That's gonna slow down the next push here. He's going to have his wings, but in the meantime, London has won these fights so far out and with so little pressure on them, they've been able to hold these support ults for quite a while. However, they've used almost everything else. Maybe get a good barrage in here, because barrage, yes, you'll probably die during it, but then you've got Banny on the spot to bring you back up.
Exactly. Closer, same thing for him. Both Valks in play.
You want D.Va out of mech, though, to barrage, otherwise, not a good time.
Not only that, yeah, oh, well, Jake decides to go for it, pulls the trigger right in his face, turns away so he doesn't kill himself with the rocket splashback with that AoE. But still, that might have created just enough space here to make the magic happen. Jake gesture-chized out in the middle of nowhere, and Jake nearly gets the kill on Birdring. So close. Of course, Close is going to be able to dart in and get the insolent res off in down Houston's face.
I would have liked to see Jake stay on the point there because they only need the one tick. They need London has the onus to have to be fighting on the point. They cannot give up any pressure there. Death Blossom comes up, does not get a ton. Here comes another Transcend from London. Their second support ultimate so far.
All I'm thinking here is, especially against London Spitfire, just stay on the point. They might get too overexcited. They might leave it for just a second, and that could be it. As Jake, point blank, stuffs a rocket into Prophet, and Colbat is there to take down Haggerfield. This could be the turning point as Jake goes ham. Self-destruct is there, and the contest at the last possible second from Gesture. Unbelievable.
Birdwing got a kill. Birdwing got 2 kills. If they can get bodies back out here, it is not over. They just need to delay. It is on a Rizzer's edge. They're so close. Prophet takes down another. Not able to get there. Houston Outlaws 2-0. Keeping the dream alive.
And this is the moment. They are standing by their words. They talk a mid-game, and when you get into the server with them, watch out. The horns are out right now, Hex, and they are ready to gore. London, well, London gets to wonder, how do they approach this in the 3rd map of this series?
Running onto you, running onto you. Medicine bound. And he heals back left. Tracer on me. I can't see you. I'm okay, I'm okay. Run. I'm dead. That first hit. Nice. Body block him. Look, they're C9. Yeah!
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omened by HP, the official PC display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
All right, everyone, and welcome back to the half as we have Houston Outlaws up 2-0 over the London Spitfire. And if I'm being honest, I am so surprised that those are words that I just had to say. Not because I don't think the Houston Outlaws are a great team. I think they're a fantastic team. But the London Spitfire are the #1 team, or were, you know, besides NYXL. But they're one of the top teams in this bad boy. And Houston's making this one very interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy how well Houston are performing, actually. This isn't, in my opinion, any case of London slipping or looking bad. It's just Houston outplaying them and using their style to such a phenomenal degree.
Yeah, and we've talked about him a lot in Contenders when he was in FNR GFE, but Cool Matt has been incredible on Diva. And ZP would always say he's one of the best divas in the world, if not the best diva with the bunny blaster as well, because he was taking out people left and right. Bryn, I know you have a play for us there because there's this sick moment that Cool Matt had on Eichenwald.
Cool Matt had the game-winning moment on Eichenwald. In my opinion, I think it's without a doubt, right? If you look at this play that he actually ended up doing, so this is just, Cool Matt is such a cerebral player in that he knows exactly where to be. So look at this. Not only does he force out the Transcendence early from Hagapun early, he gets the self-destruct into the sky. And now watch this. They have no idea this is happening.
Oh my God.
Just as Closer uses the Valkyrie. That is ridiculously game-winning, right? He takes out 2 support ults single-handedly, just as one man. You never see that. You never really see that at all.
It's fantastic, and he's playing such an individual style as well that you would think London would be able to punish it, but they're so focused on taking Jake out of these situations and ruining the DPS kind of positioning that they ignore Cool Matt and he's able just to run rampant. I've never seen a game like this from Cool Matt, actually. I think this is above and beyond. Even though he's always been really good, this is just phenomenal.
He's ascending.
Yeah, he has transcended.
He is ascending. All right, well then, Houston, the good times continue to roll on through for them because their attack was also a great moment for this squad. And Sideshow, I know that you wanted to run through that moment because Houston really just put the pedal to the metal here.
Yes, this again was another transcendent play, in my opinion, from the Houston Outlaws and their coaching staff and the way that they've approached this game. So here's what I want to highlight for you, is that both teams have the Valkyrie available. And the way that Closer normally plays is that he will allow a player to die on his team. He will not resurrect them, and he will just pop the Valkyrie. He'll wait for them to respawn as he delays the push. So here you see, as Gesture dies, Closer pops his Valk. They both pop the Valkyries, but they don't go in for the res. Houston disengage here. They know that they're just waiting for Gesture to come back into the fight. And as soon as they get another pick, and here's Jake trying to find Closer with the Riptire again, which had so much success on Anubis, but they play so patiently. And as soon as this timer is over and Gesture is back on the respawn, and they've managed to find another pick, they engage there. So they know the play style of these two support players that have only just come into this team, and they're already making reads to counter-strategy them. This is unbelievable levels of play from Houston Outlaws.
Yeah, and one thing that Houston really caught the attention of everyone coming into the Overwatch League was that, you know, a lot of people were like, oh, you got to pick up the, you know, a lot of these Korean players and some of the, you know, top tier European players. And while Houston Outlaws did do that by picking up guys like Linkser, they certainly bucked the trend and said, no, we're going to do this with some, you know, just some North American players, some European players, and they are shooting up the ranks. It has been very impressive. Now, you know, we shift to Anubis, and London decides, well, time to make a change. It's time. We gotta take out Huyao and bring in Fury. And I know, Bren, you're a big fan of Fury.
I am. Yeah. Every time Fury comes up, I honestly talk it to death about how good this one guy is on D.Va. Not just D.Va. He also plays Roadhog to a good level. He also plays Zarya. However, D.Va is his main show right now, his main hero, and the guy just on another level. He is on a sort of this other plane of existence of divas when it comes to understanding when to use your abilities, understanding when to use your ultimate, saving and your defense matrix, because he's constantly tracking what ultimates are up and when. So he's a very, once again, I use the word to describe Cool Matt, cerebral player. However, they subbed him into this game in Anubis, and Cool Matt just like made him look like a little baby. It was ridiculous. Like, Cool Matt, we said it in Eichenwald, this guy has had a ridiculous series so far. I mean, we have not seen him perform this well before, and it's scary. It's scary for the Koreans because it bucks the trend of everything we understood about Overwatch.
Yeah, and the adjustments, though, from Cool Matt was also impressive in Anubis, because I don't know if you remember, but that first attack that they had, London Spitfire, they just threw everything that they had, taking out Linkser, and a lot of that was driven by the tanks. Fury, a big contributor at that moment.
Yeah, they've had really good dives to be able to get in and do a lot of damage and be able to force out enemy ultimates in a lot of these situations, but they haven't been able to capitalize, I think, broadly because they cannot get past Jake's Junkrat tires in a lot of these situations. It's just impossible. Like, if you've got a Valkyrie and he's coming at you with a tire from the air, what are you supposed to do? You die.
Yeah,
that's
you
what
just
you
die. I mean, you were waiting for me to pick that up, but you summarized it excellently. You do just die, and plenty of times, London, in this map, they were searching for Jake, trying to find his body, devoting so many resources to it to try and get these kills, and it cost them so much, ultimately, all around the place. And Anubis, this last point here, is so good for Junkrat, because not only do you have these tight choke points so you can spam your Junkrat grenades down, build up your ultimates relatively quickly, you've also got all of these pillars, and you can use the pillars to climb up your tire, and actually it's a nightmare for Mercy players when they're Valking, because it's so easy to get caught out of position by it, and Jake just did it time and time again.
Yeah, and while Jake was just shutting them down with the tire, it also helps when you're on the objective. And, you know, I mean, not to be that guy, but I am going to say, you know, Jack, you're going to have to wipe off the days without a C9 on that board, because it seems like it just happened. Sideshow, I did not expect that from the London Spitfire.
Yes, and this is just a symptom of the pressure that they were able to, that Houston Outlaws were able to apply, that this kind of thinking goes out the window for such a high-level team. So I've got a telestrator of this final point as well, actually, just to show you how it was set up. So this is a situation with only 4 seconds left on the clock, you see at the top of your screen. And again, this is Coolmat and pressure putting on, Coolmat and Muma putting on so much pressure from the back, the back area here. So these are the tanks from the Houston Outlaws, and you see they're so far away from Jake and the supports who are sat around here. So Jake is going to move even further towards the back. That allows him to pull so much space away from the rest of his team, and in the meantime, Muma is going to try and apply pressure to these guys here and stop the rest of the London Spitfire capitalizing on that space. So as we run it forward, you'll see the Gesture is forced to go in there and jump onto the point to activate the overtime. And Coolmat is still harassing the backline. Deals with this. Gesture and Birdring, they're chasing down Jake, and if we slow it right down, you'll be able to see that they just are not unable to get to the point. Because Fury and Hagapion there are booped away by Coolmat as they're trying to enter. So Coolmat's right up in their face, they can't get past him, so they can't get on the point in time. Gesture and Closer and Birdring have all gone around the right-hand side to focus Jake and can't get on the point in time. So it's like, at this kind of high level, it's in some sense excusable because there's so much pressure, but it is a base.
So I'm going to take what I said back. I think that was more a credit to Houston Outlaws.
Yeah.
Jack, you can go ahead and keep that there. Brent,
Not even that, right? We were going on about Coolmat. I just noticed another play in that telestration. So he forced out the Transcendence and then body blocked him with the Diva, so he couldn't get on the point. Like, the guy is just, you said Transcended. He's going Super Saiyan 3 right now. This is ridiculous.
No, man, more like Super Saiyan Blue, baby. You got to get up with the times. Come on,
God mode. Okay. He doesn't understand it.
All right, well, you know what? That's it for halftime. But now the year of the dog is right around the corner. And in honor of the Lunar New Year, Overwatch is launching a new in-game seasonal event. The celebration is filled with 50 new seasonal items, including legendary skins, updates to capture the flag, and even a brand new map in Ayutthaya. I actually went there one time. Pretty awesome. And the event kicked off today. So if you haven't checked it out yet, here's a sneak peek at what you're missing.
How lucky for you. Ready for some fireworks?
All bark, no bite.
Вот где собака зарыта. You're barking at the wrong tree. I'm over the moon.
This calls for a celebration.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Oh, is it safe to say that they have found their missing Linkser? No? Yeah, you know what? I've been hanging around Golden Boy a little too much. I apologize. I promise that will not happen again. And I also promise the second half is going to be mad hype. So let's go ahead and kick it over to Similar and Hex for the call.
Thank you, Malik. I'm glad. I can't tell when I'm on screen or not, so maybe I am dancing. But that's only because we got such a great series here, Hex. You can't help but be hyped going into this one.
I got to stay loose for it. This is going to be a really rough one for London because we mentioned map wins and losses, and sometimes they don't mean all that much, but only 25% win rate going into Oasis, and this is a map they have to have.
Yeah, everything on the line now for London. You may think, oh, but they're sitting 7-1. Still, in terms of map difference, it needs to be a comeback here from them for them to have a chance at the playoffs. And while they are going to have, this is a theory that you and I have been working on for a while now, right? London, they have so much talent to draw from. We're seeing Doshin come back in for a control map. And so we saw this last time we casted their game as well, where they were changing it up and getting Doshin into the action. What do we make of that? Are we onto something here, Hex, or are we like way off? We need to get Bishop on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not losing anything from either Zenyatta main right there. It's half a dozen and 6. It's the exact same thing, just however you want to call it. They're both murderous on it. I think Bdoshin is maybe a little more aggressive, maybe hits a little more headshots here and there, but it's so close between these two that you can just swap out whoever you want. But they need to find some sort of answer on Oasis. However, conversely, Houston's only 50% on Oasis, so it's not like they're 100% like they were on Eichenwald. This is it. Houston can lock it out here. They've got a great map difference going in if that comes down to a tiebreaker, but none of that's going to matter if they don't win, and they can secure it here on Oasis.
Listen, just get the Jake-Rat into the halls, and then horrible things will happen to the Spitfire. That's how it works. That's how the Houston Outlaws need to outline the game plan. And so, we'll see. We'll see if that's what's going to be up in store for us, because it does feel like, having watched these teams now across 2 maps, they've done their homework. They've kind of prepared for each other, trying to get the read going and trying to counter one another.
London has been a bit stubborn, though, as far as dealing with the Jake-Rat. They've been sending a lot of tracers after it, which is not a great matchup.
Birdring is like, no, please, not again, not again.
I think Birdring needs to put on his wings, take to the sky, live up to his namesake here, at least pressure out Jake. And that's the thing that London faced on their defense, is Houston switching to that Pharah, and then it's not necessarily killing the Junkrat, it's making him uncomfortable, taking away the choke angles.
Yeah, just making him anxious a little bit, start missing some shots. Or
bait out some mines. I mean, it's only 6 seconds and I'll have 2 of them again, of course. I'm not salty. I don't
Not
die
at all.
mines.
No, you haven't played against Jake. I see that you haven't played against the Junkrat recently, Hex, obviously. All right, well, countdown has begun pretty much here. We got 10 seconds left on this clock, and we're about to get into the action. Don't worry, Muma is maintaining that 100% Symmetra pick rate. Love it. Good man. Symmetra definitely in this. Before he swaps over to the Orisa, which is a bit more of a reasonable pick, going into it, seeing as how he is a main tank. Houston Outlaws, in terms of what they are running, we do have Jake on the Jake-Rat, fair enough, but Linkster's also going to be on the McCree.
And they get boosted off the beginning with a Lucio pick. Now the flank comes around. It seems like London knows exactly what they're running. They're just going to toss mines. Bye, Prophet.
Just throw it into the mix, and beautiful things happen if you happen to be named Jake, because that is exactly the start he was looking for. Control point unlocks, and Houston Outlaws will collect.
That's something that perhaps Wall Street said a lot today. Bye, Prophet, indeed. Jake just crushing it. Right there, Prophet's had himself a quiet set so far.
He has, and you do think, Prophet Birdring, that is a deadly combo, but they have been struggling here versus the Outlaws, and so the guns are ablaze, and Linkster misses the flashbang, but he's still got eyes on Birdring. Birdring, though, catches Jake in the back, and that one mistake, that one miss from Linkster could have cost him.
Able to dance between the 2 anti-tracers right there and take out one of them. They do end up trading out Gesture for it, but he is brought immediately back to life. Just did pop the very early Valk. Does he get it? He's got him in his sights. Does not pull the trigger on time. Linkster goes down. And the avalanche of white goes on to the kill feed. Should be London taking it back.
You can see it there in your mind's eye, where you're just seeing that dead eye connect with that Valking Mercy, and everything works out for Houston, but unfortunately for them, it's not meant to be. One thing, however, that Houston Outlaws have going for them is that Banny is about to get to spread those wings and fly high in the sky, and so will they have an answer for that London Spitfire? They don't have a McCree. They really don't have the burst.
Not really a whole lot to deal with it. Maybe a Dragon Blade. That'll help out, make them burn those 2 already. Rez's come out immediately, but only to bring them back to die again. Why did you program me to feel pain? London will hold on there against an ulting Mercy. That's huge. This has been a strange match because usually we see ulting Mercies at the same time, but it's been, you get the ulting Mercy this fight, we'll take the next one, and it's been extremely back and forth, and the same thing will hold true on the next fight, as Nuss at 53, Lynx or Bonnie rather only at 4.
Bit of a gentleman's agreement going on here. Turns out that a self-destructing mech and a bomb to go with it are a good way to deal, and there it is. Jake with the backline mercenary tire just wipes him out. Prophet and Nuss gone, and Houston Outlaws doesn't matter. You know what? That's the good solution. Just kill the Mercy. Although, Banny, that's not what I meant. You needed to stay alive there. Houston Outlaws now, they're fighting on the point, but they will eventually manage to flip it. Large part due to Raucus just wrecking shop with Lynxer and Jake.
We talked about Vidoshin and his fellow Zenyatta on his team, but Raucus no slouch in that role either. Would be a DPS player if you didn't need supports in Overwatch. Unfortunately, you do. Well, or fortunately. I like some supports.
We get to see him style on the Soldier every now and again. I mean, fair enough.
He's also an excellent Widow for this team. If they should ever need a triple DPS, Raucus being on the Widow should not surprise anybody.
Raucus, he's got the trance focused, deadly right now. Looking for that volley, and he nearly gets it. Well, he does eventually. Muma there to follow up on that damage. Now, however, he's going to get pressured by Birdring. Birdring in the backline doing exactly what he set out to do. The high noon, Prophet's in a bit of a dire spot, nowhere to hide, and well, Cool Matt will find that kill, but Birdring continues to reign supreme, knocking down supports like dominoes.
Counters be damned. Birdring's Tracer has been phenomenal this stage, getting every kill, dancing the fine line between McCree and Junkrat, finding the openings when he can, sticking pulse bombs. He is heating up.
And as if we were following the steps in a dance. Now Banny's gonna get the valve for the next fight. And so there is time to charge that up. They still have a little bit of room to work with here, Houston Outlaws, but it is deadly serious now. You've got very little room for error in terms of time left as the percentage is gonna keep growing here. Houston Outlaws, are they gonna be able to flip it? It is getting a bit dicey. The Lynxer and Jake are able to get the job done. Once again, the kills come through, and Banny hasn't even bounced yet.
No need to use it there, and if it is a dance, then the Houston Outlaws are leading here, and they will get the last move, as Banny can just pop this Valk whenever he wants.
Now, Jester's just going to get in here to delay things, allow for his teammates to get back into the fight. Jester will go down eventually. Now it's Birdring's turn to touch the point and back off. Those are just committing the trance to keep his teammates alive as they challenge. And now it's a matter of staying alive, and Banny with the wings out is definitely going to make that happen for his teammates. Prophet hacking Cool Matt to bits, only to get erased a second later by Banny.
Matt absolutely disrupting that plan, just zoning the supports completely out of that fight. They had to stick together or they would have both died. And it gives his team so much room to clean up. Houston Outlaws, one stage away from winning the set.
Now, some of these 4-0s in the past for Houston Outlaws, right, it wasn't that huge of a shock considering how Houston Outlaws have been performing lately. You're thinking, right, this is definitely a team to be feared. But going up against the London Spitfire and being on the brink of a 3-0, not exactly what I was expecting coming into this series, Hex.
Well, they started out 0-2, lost to Philly and NYXL. Completely fine, understandable. Those are solid teams. Philly surprised a lot of people. Then they 4-0 Shanghai, 4-0 Dallas, 4-0 Florida, 4-0 Gladiators. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
See, you just made so many people in that crowd happy right now. I heard those chuckles. I heard those laughs.
Probably.
That's right. There are Houston Outlaws fans here today, Hex. They are definitely pleased with how things are going.
They're just laughing at the Gladiators, just Valiant fans, rubbing it in to their Los Angeles brethren.
Listen, there is still hope. But right now, Houston Outlaws are up 1-0 versus the London Spitfire, who are left scratching their heads wondering what they need to do to win here. It has not been working so far, and it continues to go south. Jake and Cool Matt.
Fight's over. That fight is absolutely over when you lose both supports. Maybe not, though, because Prophet was able to take down Bonnie himself. That kind of equalizes it. Generally, losing both supports means that it is over. And no, I did not speak too soon. They will grab first point rather easily here.
Muma showing some variety here. Depth in his roster. He hits that hook, but gets robbed by the physics. It's almost like real life.
Which physics are your enemy in real life?
You know, gravity, all sorts of horrible things. But Muma just hitting hooks. He shows that he can play a Roadhog too. Sure enough, why not? The man is a tank.
London lost that first fight so poorly They're not even gonna have any ultimates to work with here. Raucus nearing his own, because he's done a lot of damage early on. Hook 2.0 in full effect.
Again, yes, exactly, Hook 2.0, but he is connecting Moma, however. There are just so many targets there. That does leave the backline exposed, and Linkzer's gonna take advantage of that wholesale. Kill after kill, and he's getting the headshots too. Does have the Deadeye, but it's gonna be a bit dicey to get it out here.
He does get stuck eventually. They're trying to bring this back. They've taken out the opponent's Mercy. A stalling Transcendence comes on the point. You want to get every percentage point possible. You also don't want to give up your life for it. It's not over though. Back into the fray is Jake. Jake's able to take down Prophet.
That was Prophet in the wrong place at the wrong time there to stop a bullet. Unbelievable. And now Jake just waiting, and here it is! Boom! Notion is out of it, but Nuss brings him right back into it. Prophet, however, has taken out Raucus, and now it's on Vanny to get his teammate back in the fight. He's nearly got the Falcon. He could pop it, but he dies. Prophet coming up with the big plays.
Absolutely huge. They should be able to hold this right now because they do have Valkyrie in the sky. Everybody's getting chain healed. Still not able to flip it back over. The longer this goes, the better it is for Houston. 20% away, which is essentially one more fight for the Houston Outlaws. They've been stacking ultimates themselves. Valkyrie will be ready for them. Whole hog to get people off the point. Matt can chime in as well. Houston's so close to wrapping this match up.
Brick by brick, the green wall is getting erected right now. It's looking mighty fine here for the Outlaws as they've got all of that old superiority that they are about to bring to bear. They're just looking for their opening. They're looking for their moment. Following Birdring, and there we go. Birdring gets bored. He's tired of waiting. He's going to go launching right into a whole hog. That's not where he wanted to be. Runs into Raucus, though, and will find a kill that he was looking for in the end. Getting a bit close here, however, as Cool Matt with the delayed kill. The self-destruct works perfectly, and Houston Outlaws now have a huge edge into going on to take this point and this map.
The double resurrection brings them back up to full strength, exactly what they needed there. Now they just need to make sure everyone's off the point. They do. That's a very quick flip, 85% and counting. London needs to find something, and they're going to have no ultimates to do it with. Vanilla Overwatch. Reach into your bag of mechanics and do it. Pulse Bomb does not find Pater. That could have ended it right there.
That would have been brutal. Jake, again, he has been on point hitting these Pulse Bombs, looking for the perfect opening, and he finds them. And now we're into overtime. It's all or nothing for London Spitfire. They've lost Gesture, and it's going to be a tough res for Nuss, who doesn't have his Valk just yet. Moma somehow misses a hook. Didn't know that was possible. But he's still in the fight, and this is only creating room for Linkzer to go to work.
Nuss got to his Valkyrie, was able to bring back Birdring, but then he goes down immediately following that. Houston picking up all the kills. I don't see a way London comes back into this.
They're dancing on the edge. They're trying to put on the desperate fight. The mech gets hooked in, but there's Momo with the whole hog if he wants it. And yes, sure enough, gonna push Jester into oblivion. And then you have it. Houston Outlaws. Jake getting hype. They have done it, Hex. 3-0. The win over the London Spitfire.
An amazing round from the Houston Outlaws. They still want more. They still want one more map. It's such a smart switch to put Uma on the Roadhog. Where London's bread is buttered is their tank play, and Roadhog, the anti-tank tank.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
Overwatch League represents a different direction than esports have taken in the past. A global community of professionals for a truly global league.
Welcome back from the break, everybody. It is true. The scoreboard is not lying to you. Houston Outlaws have defeated the London Spitfire. We have a last map coming up, and I believe we can kind of touch on why that is important, this fourth map, because it's going to come down to tiebreakers.
Coming into this, the map differential for each team, London was plus 18, which is bonkers. Houston was plus 14, so if Houston 4-0s them, they'll be tied at map differential. When we go to head-to-head as the secondary tiebreaker, so if it's down to these two teams to see who gets into the playoffs, those tiebreakers will be in Houston's favor. So not over yet. Houston still definitely wants to take Dorado.
And well, we've got one sub coming through here for London Spitfire. All chuckles because obviously he wasn't on the maps that they were, getting beat up on at the end there. But Wuhyol will be subbing in for Fury, so we'll see a little bit of a change up there. And it will be Dorado, the last map cue, the music. You can hear it. That's right. Dorado's coming up.
This substitution makes all the sense in the world. Wuhyol and Gesture dominated Dorado last time they were on it. They played very far forward, let the rest of their team just do whatever they wanted. These teams are kind of built in a similar way where you expect the tank play to be super high level. I mean, we can talk about Linkser and Jake all day, and I think that we're contractually obligated to spend 95% of our time talking about Jake and Linkser. But let's give Matt and Muma some credit. Those guys are the heart and soul of this team. If you don't have a good tank line, then your DPS aren't going to look as good as they are. And that's how this team was built. Flame said right away, Matt and Muma will build out from there.
There you go. You have those tanks. You can see the impact that they have, but then it allows for the space. I wish Reinforce wasn't sick as a dog right now because he could definitely get into that on the analyst desk in terms of, what the tanks do and how it works as far as, supporting their team, creating that space for the back line to shine. Well, you got two of the best right here for Houston Outlaws, that's for sure.
I don't even think Reinforce is sick today. I think he just wanted a day at home where he could ladder without us asking him, hey, do you want to queue with me? You want to queue with me, Grandmaster Johnny? You want to take me up the ranks?
And then he plays Hanzo and just laughs at you. I am a funny, sweet. Yeah. Oh, Johnny, get better soon, bud. All right, Houston Outlaws going into the last map. Kind of curious to see if they're going to do anything to change it up, if the pressure is off for them, where they can kind of cut loose and have fun. Muma, of course, keeping that 100% Symmetra going.
I appreciate it. It's my favorite part of Muma's gameplay, is that now we know that Symmetra is indeed a hero, not missing from the select screen. It's not so popular in the meta right now. This actually, oddly enough, it used to be one of the maps that Symmetra was pretty good on.
Yeah, because you put those sentry turrets all around here and then have the TP to come back into the fight, but like all around this statue and everything. That was a goddamn nightmare, man.
Well, now Junkrat has definitely taken that place as the defensive hero on this map. And of course, the Jake Rat on the Houston Outlaws, no surprise there. Muma's going to show us yet another tank he can play to great ability. It's going to be the Orisa here. Orisa Rat. We'll see where Linkser wants to set up. I think putting your Widow behind this shield is both good and bad. It's kind of an all your eggs in one basket thing, so if they dive, then you're going to lose your Widow pretty early. Or you can set up pretty far behind. We'll see how early the rotation comes in from Houston as well, because with this defense, you're not necessarily playing that forward high ground, which dive defense would do. You're going to play this back arch, and then when you feel overrun, you're going to rotate around the courtyard.
Or you're just going to get blown to bits by Jake. Again, Berry is already dead at the beginning of this fight, and Linkser also starts out at a bit of an off angle. Now, however, he will be able to group up with the rest of his team, get some damage boost if he wants, or really, just keep the party going.
Jake continues to be a terror for these Tracer players on the London Spitfire. Doesn't matter who's on it, he is blowing them up. Take an interesting angle here. They're going to fight over top of the arch, but they lose a big part of this push, which is their D.Va player. So they might have to reset. Looks like they are falling back, waiting for that D.Va to get back in the fray.
The 1-2 combo punch. Doshin getting tickled by the Orisa there with the Hulk combo. Linkser right now, I mean, we saw what he did to them on Eichenwald with the McCree. Man knows how to hit headshots when that's what it's all about. And nearly had the angle there on Bergeric. That was a close one. Will peek out, not going to hit the flick. And in the meantime, Wuhyol has found Raucus. Things could get dicey here unless they can turn it around quick for Houston Outlaws. Prophet having none of it, though.
Just the fact that Prophet's on Genji makes Linkser have to play on that bottom there early on because he does not want to get flanked by the Genji alone. He wants to be with Jake, but it doesn't matter. He simply takes out the threat. Prophet going down again. In the 1v1s, in the duels of mechanics, Houston Outlaws DPS have been every bit as good, if not better, than the Spitfire DPS today.
Oh, they've certainly shown. Done fantastic work. Birdring's got the pulse, but I mean, Linkser, man, so standout, so beastly, really turning it around, and then you've got Jake. You've got that surgical precision coming in from Linkser with the headshots, and then Jake, he's just like a jackhammer going to work right now with these concussion mines. He doesn't care, it's area of effect damage for him.
Absolutely, they combo with each other very well. As soon as you hit a nade or a mine, if it doesn't kill them outright, which often it does, Linkser doesn't have to aim at that point. He just has to shoot a body. This is what Linkser's worried about, the left-hand side. That's where Prophet would be coming over the top. Widow would be so hard to deal with on this map. Now Jake's gonna help as well. Maybe spotted a target out here. He's gonna get behind with the tire. They know it's coming. Can they do anything about it? Nope.
It's like, eventually, death will catch you in the form of a tire at the hands of Jake. What a beast. There is no hiding from it. Now Cool Matt is going to go ahead and take a peek, give his Mercy some charge, or rather Raucous, but both of them are already charged up fully right now. We will have the ults coming into this last fight, 4 of them, and so Links are going for the wall hacks again. Not quite going to spot him. Infrared in play though, and that's actually forcing London Spitfire to be very careful with these sight lines.
Infrared there, for sight rather there. But now both supports down. Birdring and Prophet have had enough. They put an end to it right now. And from downtown, Prophet will take out Linkser with the last bit of shuriken there. Problem is they're pretty far back. Do they have any tank ults to get in here? No, I don't think Houston Outlaws can come out here and contest. Matt does his best to stall, but at best is not going to be good enough.
Still, very solid work coming in here for the Houston Outlaws on the defense. At least to start, they have forced a lot of time off of this bank here for London Spitfire. Prophet is not pleased. And well, we're getting the replay here. Birdring, he will be able to spot them out in the back, and yeah, just solid aim from him, really. Doesn't even go for the pulse, doesn't even feel like he needs to. A lot of damage coming in from the Tracer.
London in good position here with check marks, but I'm a little weary of saying that after Anubis went so poorly for them, even though they had ultimate advantage several times during that map. They're just going to take as much push as possible. They don't want to get bombed on from the Jake right up top. This is a cool angle. Prophet might actually pop to get the extra dash through. He's got both supports in his sights. Still holding on to that blade, waiting for some tank support.
Waiting for some kind of combo there. So far, the payload not getting anywhere. However, it's Birdring to start off the show. Banny, however, does survive. He will be able to get both of those kills back into the fight, but now they're just even strength. Nuss could be the one to change it up here as Prophet eliminates Jake. And the challenge on this high ground has been real here. Prophet really keeping an eye on it. That blade is a constant threat.
They knew where Jake was, and Prophet wouldn't credit for the kill, but you gotta give Rui Hall credit for just letting him live inside the Matrix. That's how he's able to dodge those bullets, dodge those mines, and get it going in there. Prophet will bust out the blade, takes himself down too. Houston now on the back foot.
Some might call that overkill. Some might also call that matching the hate he has for Linkser at this moment in time. He is gonna do everything to kill that guy as fast as possible, doesn't matter. Gesture will manage to catch Banny in a corner. That's unfortunate, as he is. I mean, he's just gonna get beaten to death. It's not every day you see that.
Not able to get out. Meanwhile, back at the ranch on the payload there, a couple of kills come in from Houston, a complete stabilization. Now London, there's only 90 seconds left. Time for 2 good pushes on the offense. A Transcend will very likely be the focal point of the next one, but Raucous has a Transcend in his pocket. Everyone is going to experience tranquility.
Whether you like it or not.
Forced tranquility, best tranquility.
Forced tranquility.
It's like when you yell at someone to calm down, has the opposite effect.
But stress, I mean, Cool Matt right now, he doesn't have to be stressed about a damn thing anymore because he is gone, he is off the map, and he's gonna be respawning way too far out there for Banny to be able to get the res. But Linkser making the difference, wins the duel versus Birdring. Blink of an eye, oh, that was the big kill! Banny out of the fight. A lot of healing lost there for Houston Outlaws.
They immediately pop the Valkyrie after that too, knowing that is their giant window to go in and probably win this fight, bring their heroes back to life. Nice stall out tactics though coming from Matt again. Knows that he just needs to stay alive. A blade will come out from Linkser. Shut down, sir.
Punched in the face by the long mechanical arm of the law. Woo, y'all, not having any of it. Banny. Well, no, that was Muma, but still, there we go. Jake eventually dies. And London Spitfire looks like they will get that second point in the end. Only a minute 40 left on the clock, though.
They're going to catch some spawns here, too. This is one of the negative parts about losing that second point. Who's the longest mechanical arm in the law? Is it RoboCop, Judge Dredd, Inspector Gadget.
I guess Inspector Gadget gets to cheat a little bit, right? Because who knows what's under that overcoat. None of us want to know, really, in the end. Yeah. But Judge Dredd is definitely...
Sorry, it took me a second. My brain's not on land. My brain's on land.
Definitely is the cooler one out of the bunch, though. I'm just going to put it out there. RoboCop, nah.
I'd buy that for $1 indeed. Birdring goes down to Raucus, and now Dosen goes down as well. Prophet does equalize things, so now this is a 4v4. Next fights could really determine this. A lot of healing out of the fight for London, though, so your health bar is going to stay where it is right now.
Oh, buddy, Prophet, he just wants to live. He just wants to live, but Jake, not interested. Merciless.
Well, it's such a small thing that Tracers have to always be aware of is pack control, and it generally comes down to 1v1s as well. If you control the pack, you are winning that fight 9 times out of 10. Takes away the pack from a retreating Genji. Probably would have gotten the kill anyway, but makes it a whole lot easier for him.
Well, there we go. Now they finally managed to repulse, or at least push London out of here, which means the payload can actually start backtracking. So some ground getting lost here for London Spitfire.
20 seconds left. Tranquility will be experienced on London Spitfire going to the next fight, but Houston has a bank of ultimates as well. This one's going to come down to pure execution. Who can land a big ult first? Who needs ults when you have dash?
Oh man, that Trank is out of it here. No harmony. Definitely no love as Linkser is just going to work. 2 tanks left and he doesn't care. The Primal Rage will get popped. And so there's the self-destruct. Catches Coolmat, but Linkser continues to produce bodies here. The count just keeps growing.
Now these tanks still into it. I actually don't like that Wu Yao went down there. He could have waited for his other tank's Primal Rage to expire. He will do just that. The res comes and does bring Gesture back to life. The last second, get on the cart, folks. It is so close.
Oh no, yeah, that overtime wick is gonna keep burning faster and faster. Oh, Birdring, I'm sure he thought he had it. Blinked right in, but he was a split second too late, and Houston Outlaws yet again a successful defense for them.
Looking to get that 4-0, looking to tie up the map differential. Might be the map that gets them into the finals of stage 1, or the playoffs at the very least. And Linkser, I mean, how much can you really say about this guy? Takes out the Zenyatta so that there's no Transcendence, and then it's just easy pickings here.
That's just a monstrous kill, yeah. You know, you called it, Hex, that they were counting on that. The Trance was gonna be the focal point. And Linkser, the man right there on your screen, just going to work. Another day in the office, dropping bodies left and right. But he's a beast.
The quiet plague. This guy kills everything and never says a word about it. One of the most humble players, in fact, in all of Overwatch. He always has been. Ever since he started playing Overwatch, he's always kind of doubted himself. I think now he's found that right mix of confidence and humility at the same time. He knows how good he is, but he's just not going to tell you. He's just going to cut you in half.
There you go. I like it. I like how you saved that at the end, because I was about to say, like, well, you need the confidence. Right? Yeah. That's how the star operates. He just knows he's the best player in that server. But if he's killing them all, that's good too, right? That works. Actions speak louder than words. That's blah 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 cliche. Blah blah.
Did you just make that up?
Indeed, I did.
Oh, you should write that down.
I should. It sounds like it'd be pretty deep, wouldn't it? Something you'd find in a fortune cookie.
Yeah, can you crochet that onto a pillow for me?
If you have a couch one day, I'll sort that out for you.
I mean, if I had friends, I'd need a couch, but as it is, totally fine.
All of your friends are online. All online. All right, we're going into the last half of this map. 3-0 and Houston Outlaws in a fantastic position now to close this out, to sweep the London Spitfire and to really set themselves up well for the playoffs. So now it comes down to the offense. What do we got cooking here? Jake on the Junkrat, of course. Linkser on the Widow. No craziness really coming out of Houston Outlaws.
Same setup on offense as they used on defense as well. Just gonna hold the cart there. First shots fired. Linkser takes out his counterpart. No worries about sightlines now, boy, but brought back to life. But that is a big deal. That means a basic resurrection now out of the mix. Essentially a 76 now for Houston if Bonnie can stay alive and res someone.
This could be big. A lot of damage taken, but now Jake, you can see him on the flank, connecting with those nades. A lot of damage being dealt there to Gesture. He's got to get out, however. He is going to change up that angle real quick. And in the meantime, Birdring has won the duel versus Linkser, and so the weight, the pressure building here on Jake. He's got to make some magic happen. And he dies, a smear across the wall as he all just goes zipping through.
That was graphic. Linkser lost that last duel. It is 1v1 right now in the Bird Ring versus Linkser duel if you're keeping score at home. You know, like you go to a baseball game and there's the old guys with the scorecards? I hope there's people in Overwatch saying, well, 1v1 now in the Widow matchup.
Isn't that how, what is it, Winston's Lab? Isn't that how it works
Yeah,
there?
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
You have like 3 guys sitting there, and then this guy killed this guy.
Doing God's work. I couldn't do it. There's numbers involved, so I would be terrible at it.
You just shoot things in the head, Hex.
I try.
That's what you do.
I do my best. So far, being stalled out on the offense. We're entering the ultimate phase of the game. Valkyrie's online for both teams. Both Widows can see through walls whenever they like with Infrasight. And now it's just some free push. Got a bit of a stalemate right now, waiting for that next kill to tell which team it's time to go.
It's like watching tropical birds right now doing their mating dance. I mean, they are colorful after all, Houston Outlaws in particular. They're just dancing. They're just dancing. And who's gonna get the joy of it all? Jake, he's stuck. Oh no, this is not what he was looking for. He does get around the corner, but oh! The nade! The mine on Prophet, get out! Not happening again, and now Jake just going to work. Eventually, Wooyal again will find him. But the damage is done.
Well, the Resurrection comes back in. It's the only saving grace for London so far. However, when Houston resets, they will have a Resurrection and Valkyrie of their own, which is why they're going to keep their positioning on the card. If anyone dies after this, it's completely fine because the res will be there for them. A tire going through the skies. Wheel in the sky, keep on burning. There goes Jake.
Finds Jake, but hey, man, this tire has a mind of its own! Takes down Doshin! That is big! Certainly now, well, the first point, it is Houston Outlaws. They've done it, they've pushed through, and it's just, they're just... Woohyo, tell me how you feel.
Sad. Just sad.
Cool Matt doesn't care. I like it though, because Linkser, he's just like, that is my stat, thank you. I will take that kill.
Gotta pad those stats, man. That's how Moneyball works. They only look at the stats.
That's how, yeah, most of it gets interpreted.
That was a pretty long hold, though, for Spitfire. Let's not sneeze at that defensive effort. They were able to really slow down the Houston offense during those engagements. Now the tank continues to move forward with the shield on it. And Diva decided not to mess with Raucus. Raucus putting the fear in him.
It turns out flanking Zenyatta is a thing. Wujal is looking back over. He's like, did I imagine that? Was there actually a Zenyatta trying to orb volley me over here? Was I seeing things?
Well, Doshin will snipe out Linkser. And who needs a sniper rifle when you are transcending those orbs? Just willing them to their target there. Linkser gets resurrected back into the fray. Resurrection's out on both sides now.
All right, then Prophet, wrong end of that orb, that's for sure. No pleasure there. And that is now going to be Cool Matt, forcing him off the high ground. Excellent work. Yeah, he'll take shots like that any day of the week. Watching the squishies and making sure that Bird Ring can't get too comfortable. As I say that, though, how does Banny get caught by the self-destruct?
Must not have had targets to Guardian 2. Matt was preoccupied, which is generally going to be your out, at least in the sky or any vertical plane that you need. Without a Pharah, the Diva does fill that role as an escape mechanism for the Mercy. So when Matt is preoccupied like that, then his Mercy has nowhere to go but back to spawn.
To ponder the meaning of life. Jake looking to get in on that action on the high ground, but unfortunately Tracer, she can only really blink horizontally. She's just vertically challenged. And she has been more ways than one.
I know a little something about that. Linkser now takes down Bird Ring again. This sniper duel has been completely even so far. They're just trading blows back and forth with Gesture out of the fight now, though. That forces out a Valkyrie to start bringing up these fallen heroes. Transcend on the other side of things. Houston is a slow but steady, I think I can push the payload.
I mean, and especially because Banny has still got his Falcon, as long as he doesn't die. There we go. Pops the wings, still in this, and they will be able to get the reses into play here. Banny, surely he should be able to. When are they there? The res on Muma for one, but right now they're doing so much work, London Spitfire. Houston Outlaws, despite it all, they're getting pushed back. Although, as I say that, Cool Matt wipes out the back line.
Cool Matt just with another drive through right there, taking everybody down. Houston is going to zone out everybody else. They want to clean up the rest of these kills before they continue pushing, but that allows Gesture a chance to take down Bonnie and stall out more. They could have played the cart there as well and tried to just sneak it in. It's not too far away.
Because you've only got the squishies back on the card, or at least for a while there. Bird Ring alone, Doshin. I mean, if you get a couple of those assassins in there, that could have been a bit sad, but Jake, he was off, he was off farming his next pulse ball. We'll put it that way. Mark his next pulse bomb on that big angry gorilla.
Cool Matt, not necessarily known for giant pulse bombs. They're of course in his game, he's a well-rounded hero, but he's more passive diva, always Johnny on the spot, shuts down the other team. He's one of the most annoying divas to play against ever. But if he needs to hit a huge self-destruct right now, and this is a great point for it, right over the top. Oh, it might be too late. Profit drops 2.
And that's Fanny out of the fight as well. Cool Matt decides to go for the self-destruct now. No, not gonna do it. He's gonna save it. No, he actually did use it, my bad. Still, sometimes it's a bit hard to read. You think on the sound, audio cue. Not gonna happen though, and right now things are shaping up fantastically for London Spitfire, and no chance even to get in and tap the point. Nobody was close enough for it. And London Spitfire gonna pick up the last map of this series. It doesn't change the fact that they lost the series, but when it comes into a tie situation, having that one map difference could mean everything here for the Spitfire.
That could be a huge map in the grand scheme of things, but still congratulations to the Outlaws. They've done what they had to do so far to keep things alive. They take down the London Spitfire, and they still have dreams for the Stage 1 playoffs.
Solid work from everybody on the Houston Outlaws side of things. Not going to be too concerned. They did their job. They won the series. And so now they are in the running for the playoffs, maintaining that spot. The hard work paying off here. The man who's been talking a lot about that, Jake, definitely could feel pleased with his performance today.
I think the bigger the hair, the bigger the hearts. That's why Houston's able to pull out some of these matches. I need to get a hold of their stylist. Need a trim.
Hey, look at that. Whoever's doing Rockus' hair, I need to get on that.
No one's doing Rockus' hair. That's nature. That's God's work there, son.
Rockus does Rockus' hair. Enough said. And I do believe we will, in just a few moments, be having a word with Linkster on the floor as well. Zoe is going to be asking the questions, so I'm excited to hear, well, you know, what allowed him to perform at that level today, because he was popping off like a monster. But, you know, a little bit of time here as they get things sorted out.
Well, Linkster is such a key part to this team. I thought that bringing in Clockwork, he performed pretty well against Seoul. He's gotten a lot of flack from this team, but Linkster a step above. And I'm glad that he's feeling better, because I think maybe without him today, London would have been a different team. But Houston clicking on all cylinders. Now we've got Zoe with Linkster.
We do indeed. Thanks very much, guys. Linkster, congratulations to you and the Houston Outlaws. What an exciting match and what an outcome. Exactly, please give it up. Now, first and foremost, are you feeling better?
Yes, a bit.
A bit. Well, you look pretty good on that stage, let's be fair. You were out last week due to illness, and one of the games you actually played last week was against the Seoul Dynasty. How was it for you to watch that game from the sidelines?
Very nerve-wracking. Like even the previous game that we played against Shock, I was like tense and like dying on my bed watching the game. Like, oh my God, I hope they come through.
Well, and they did. Clockwork really stepped it up. Now, looking ahead, on Saturday, you guys are going to play the Boston Uprising. If you're winning that match, you are in the Stage 1 playoffs. Looking at those two teams, yeah, that's right. So close, just one more game to go. Looking at the two teams and the play styles, how do you match up?
I think Boston seems very familiar, like Valiant, in terms of like diving, but they have more stuff in their repertoire. Like, I think we match up against them very well, and I think it's going to be a good game.
Well, and that's all we can ask for. Linkster, thanks so much for joining me. Congratulations once more. Can't wait to watch the game on Saturday. We're now heading over to the desk for the breakdown of all the action.
Well, that was just a good old-fashioned slobber knocker, as good old JR says, and you don't know that reference, Sideshow, because you're not a professional wrestling fan like myself, but it's okay.
I'm not a professional wrestler either.
That too. No one would think that looking at you. But I will say, neither would I, actually. Wow, what a game. That was amazing. That was, not only did we get a stellar performance out of the Houston Outlaws, but we also got London just, you know, answering back, putting a point on the board. Something. Not getting 4-0'd is huge here, because everything matters for the playoffs.
Yes, it's a kind of ridiculous situation here, because that last map and the idea of map differential is going to be required, I think, in terms of breaking some of these tiebreakers, because there is such parity between the league. People were talking at the beginning about the general parity between the best teams in the league and the worst teams in the league. And then we had a period in the middle of stage 1 where it wasn't going so well, and it looked like there were 3 dominant teams. And all of these middle of the packs have just brought it back, and Houston is one of them, and they just are looking so strong right now.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the maps. We had Oasis, and I do agree with you there, Sideshow. Everyone's looking good. One player who's been looking fantastic, Jake on the Tracer, Bren. Yeah. He's known for Junkrat, but here he is just going off on Tracer.
We were picking up his Junkrat, however, his Tracer plays were just as impressive all around, to be honest. He was playing it, you know, here and there on Dorado and also mainly on Oasis. Oasis, he was really shining quite significantly, and he was kind of matching Prophet. They both played Tracer on a similar stage, and he was being a nuisance all around the map alongside his Junkrat plays. But I just want to point out as well, the important takeaway from all this is that, once again, my unbeaten prediction record continues, where I have not incorrectly predicted a game yet.
You can't claim that because you switched sides so many times.
No. I said it on the stream.
No. See, someone tweeted Bren saying that they like how you stick to your guns. If they only saw the game beforehand where you switched like 30 times.
What game?
Sure.
He's like the Houston Outlaws. He has 2 guns, right? So he's able to swap and switch.
Oh,
That's
look
how
at that.
it works.
I like that. This is why they pay this guy the big bucks. All right, well, then looking forward to Dorado. This one was another exciting map here and huge for London because they needed to get a win just to kind of keep themselves motivated, in my opinion.
Yes, and also for this playoff game. As we were saying, map differential, so important. And I think as they were coming into Dorado, it's a map that they have looked a little weak on at times, but not against teams like the Houston Outlaws. It's pretty difficult, actually, to get value out of a Junkrat on this map because of the verticality on the stage that the Lynx just got sniped on there. And so we saw Jake revert over to the Tracer. They had a decent performance, but now you're getting into the kind of sphere that London Spitfire loves to operate in. The dive v dive. They have all of the power there. They can make it scrappy. They can make it tight, and it worked out in the end for London.
Yeah, and in general, the one player for me that I think we should all point out for London was Birdering in the final moments of that match. He had a great game on both the Widowmaker and the Tracer. We saw lots of times he was clutching it out. The double kills with the pulse bombs on the Widowmaker just being a nuisance, causing Coolmat to have to apply so much pressure to him just to keep him off the rest of the team, and that opened up the Houstons to a bit of weakness there when you were pushing it through that second checkpoint of Dorado.
Yeah, and while London were able to take that victory in Game 4, it still came down to the Houston Outlaws with a 3-1 win, and it was led by our player of the match, sponsored by Omen, by HP, Cool Matt, because this guy earned, I think, everyone's love today.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, actually, because when you look at Cool Matt play, nothing he does beautifully is reflected in the statistics. He is a statistically very mediocre player, but the clutch, cerebral, as you said, plays that he comes out with, obviously, huge pulse, huge Diva Bomb there, but being able to body block people as they were coming in, the defense matrix timings, he might not be blocking the most damage, but I think that he's blocking the most important damage most of the times here. And even, I mean, we take a look at some of his stats here, this is just going to highlight it. Like, he has had a phenomenal game, and I feel like normally he plays more defensive, and so this time he was able to free up a little bit, play a little more aggressive, but just the brain on this guy and the way that he's been able to take control of this hero and really get the most out of it is phenomenal.
Big fan of Cool Matt personally. I put out a tweet, I was like, I think I'm in love with Cool Matt, and everyone agreed with me. So yeah, in general, I gotta say, he's just a great guy.
You're just going for the likes and the retweets.
Yes,
that's all you want. If only,
that's the game plan.
If only people saw the
playing. That's the game I'm playing.
Oh man,
I'm in 2025 right now when it comes to the social media game. But you guys stuck in 1920 or whatever.
Sure. All right, well, let's see. I got to move on from that one. Let's take a look at the final results for today from our matches. We had a Super Bowl rematch, Philadelphia Fusion against the Boston Uprising, and Boston will be able to take that one 4-0. Then the New York Excelsior faced off against the Florida Mayhem, and the NYXL got that 3-0 victory. But it was an exciting one. Mayhem drawing out in game number 2. But then our match of the night, and it did not disappoint. Houston Outlaws, London Spitfire ended in a 3-1 with Houston now in a great position with the standings. And let's just go ahead and check out the standings, because now the Outlaws are in 3rd place as they are looking to make their way into the playoffs. This third place spot has been so hot and cold. We've had the Valiant in there, the Dynasty in there, Uprising, and now it's going to be the Houston Outlaws. And I wouldn't even begin to get into the craziness of the map differentials and all that stuff. So we're just going to talk about the games for tomorrow, because we're going to have the Gladiators going up against the Dallas Fuel. Then the Seoul Dynasty will face off against the San Francisco Shock, and the Los Angeles Valiant will go up against the Shanghai Dragons. And here's the thing. Every single match matters. That's what makes playoffs so exciting, and I am pumped for Saturday. It's going to be great, but that's going to do it for us here at the Overwatch League. It's been a blast for me, my first day hosting the desk, and I couldn't have, honestly, two better guys. You guys are amazing.
You're amazing as well, Golden.
They have two better guys back out there if you want to pull them out next time.
No, I think we're good. I think we're good. And it's been a blast. Thank you so much to the Overwatch community for all the love. It has been such an amazing day, and we'll see you tomorrow. More games, more action. I cannot wait. Now let's just go home and play more Overwatch.